Jessica Simpson once said, "Be original. The world will try to fit you into a mold, but carve your own path." Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nerdy Optometrist, a podcast channel for all things optometry. And this is your host, Ukti Vora. Before we dive into the episode, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and all the episodes. Today, we have someone who has actually carved his own path, and I'm really honored and privileged to have Preet Shah with us today. Let me dive deep into his introduction. Preet is a distinguished healthcare professional with expertise in optometry and health informatics. A gold medalist from MGM University of Health Sciences, Mumbai, Preet excelled in both clinical practice and academics. While earning a bachelor's in optometry, Preet worked at Optika Eyecare for 6 years and later served as a consultant optometrist at Akshar Eye Clinic, Mumbai. Driven by passion for integrating technology in healthcare, Preet pursued an MS in Health Informatics at Hofstra University, New York, gaining practical experience as an informatics intern at Northwell Health. While we are all struggling to understand healthcare and technology, he's already got a degree in that. Currently, Preet is a quality analyst at Stony Brook Medicine, leveraging skills in healthcare informatics to enhance healthcare delivery and outcomes. This unique blend of optometry and informatics expertise makes Preet a valuable asset for the healthcare field, and I'm so happy to invite him and make him part of our nerdy family. Thanks, Preet, for your time and a warm welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. This is for the first time at a very young age, I'm being part of a podcast.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm
Yeah.
glad that your first podcast experience is with me.
Yes.
And let's dive directly into my questions because I know some of it because I've been in touch with you for a while
Yeah.
now. But it would be great to learn about it from the start. So tell us, how did you bump into the eye care space?
Well, as we know that majority of the optometrists who are in the field right now are going into optometry just because they either have a family background or some of the relative who is either an optometrist or an optician. So this was the same story for me. We have a family business of optical spectacles manufacturing. So my father and my uncle was much more keen that you should learn something related to our field. Well, first as every medical student, even I wanted to pursue MBBS, but just because my scores was not up to the par. So I came into this field. And yeah, so this was a journey, the 4 years of roller coaster.
That's wonderful. So you wanted to do medicine and practice and become
Yeah.
practicing MD doctor. You changed into eye care, and I'm sure
Yes.
you loved it. And now you are into healthcare. Like, this is a wide range of
Yeah.
interest and expertise you're planning to achieve. So tell us about, how did you switch from healthcare to technology, and how did that journey start?
Well, I think that like you are the answer of this question, as we all know that, like to all the audience. Firstly, I would like to say that when I started my optometry journey in 2017, only from the very beginning, I was working with one optical store called Optika Eye Care, and it's my elder sister's store. And Nerdy Optometrist is my sister's best friend. So from the very beginning, I've been hearing about her that she's established in US. She has been working with Topcon, Oakley, and everything. So when I first spoke to my sister that I want to study abroad, she just told me one thing, that you speak with Ukti and she will help you. So to all the audience, when I spoke with her for the first time, I was to be honest, I was planning for health administration or MHA. And when I spoke with her for the first time, she told me that if you are coming to the US, make sure you are learning something healthcare with technology. So I was randomly Googling on internet that what are the health and tech courses. Then I got to know about health informatics, and no one in my entire family or family friend circle was doing this particular course, because as we know that all of us who come to US are either software engineers or IT professionals purely into IT, but no one was into healthcare.
Yeah.
And there are few who directly come to do their USMLE or practice their residency. So I randomly searched about this and I got to know about health informatics. Now, then I met one education consultant. I was very much sure that I will go through a consultant because the entire process is very much haywired and we don't know that what are the different pieces we have together. So he told me that if you are going to US, make sure that you are going to the best location. I won't send you to the best university because over here networking is the only skill. And you
Right.
are only like you can only network with people if you are in the best cities. So I was sure that I will either go to New York, California, Texas, Boston, which are the healthcare hubs for startups. Then I searched on Google that which are the health informatics universities in New York or California. Then as per my financial budgeting and all my adjustments, I got to know that New York was the right place because the university where I'm studying, where I studied, Hofstra University, it was hardly 20 minutes away from the New York City. And then I got to know that there are good scholarship opportunities. They have a tie-up with Northwell Health, which is a 21 chain hospital over here. So which can give me a good internship experience. So yeah, this is how I landed into health informatics, having no clue, but just a confidence that if you come over here, study health and tech.
Well, okay, so first of all, I have to say that that was also something that came from my experience that
Yeah.
healthcare and technology was an upcoming thing, but
Mm.
that was the only information I provided to you. Apart from that, I don't want to take away the credit of all the research you did. But I am very happy with a lot of things that you mentioned throughout this response. And the reason I wanted to kind of break that down a little bit, because I often get this question, like, I want to come to US, what do I do? Because many people might think like OD is the next step. And if you want to come to US, you want to kind of get into your optometry practice, which is great. Healthcare informatics, I myself have not done it. So, full disclaimer, I've done an MBA. I have no idea about healthcare informatics. And that's why I have Preet here to learn from him. Because I just told him, like, go eye care or healthcare and tech. That was
Yeah.
the only information I gave him. So, not taking any credit there.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, I really like, at least I know from the first time I started interacting with you, you did a very good research. And you did pointed out good, important points for people to kind of anyone who's trying to kind of move abroad. It could be US, it could be anywhere in the world, in terms of having a consultant if you are not sure. And the second was research. So you did Google and figured out like, okay, best universities, best courses. Did you reach out to these universities before you felt like New York was the place? Did you start any communication? How were you able to know about the fact that they have a tie-up with Northwell Health, right? Which could be critical. So what was your communication with these universities like?
So, to be very much honest, what I used to do was whenever I had a list of universities, I used to directly email them. First, I used to read their entire website. I had a Excel sheet in that I had name of the universities and what are the credits and the courses. Then the first thing which I used to do was to so there are multiple things when you come as an international student. First is that you have to make sure that your course comes under a STEM category. So what is a STEM
Yeah.
category? STEM category stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. If your course is under this category, so you get additional 3 years to work in the United States after you finish your degree. So, as a return of investment point of view for an international student, this is very much important that your course is under a STEM category. Now, as you mentioned that I used to email all the university, I had a questionnaire of 15 to 20 questions, which I made it ready. And I used to email them that is your course a STEM course? Do you have internship opportunities? What is the statistics of your students who are passing out? In how many months they are getting a job? What is the annual salary they are getting as per the state? And thirdly, I always ask, can you provide a list of students to whom I can connect with? So this is a very crucial point to communicate with the universities, and trust me that they always revert back within 2 to 3 business days. So it has been a blessing for me.
I think this is so, so amazing. I'm so happy listening to this answer
Yeah.
because, yes, this research and the level of detail you are sharing is extremely important. And I'm sure this is going to be beneficial for many, many listeners who are going to
Yes.
listen to this episode. So, thank you for going in so much of details. But of course, like the research and asking questions is extremely critical. The other thing you mentioned was budget and ROI, which I feel is very important because many of us are like, okay, yeah, I want to kind of study or work in US, right?
Mm.
But it's The fact that, okay, you did complete your education, but can you work? And you mentioned about STEM category, which is extremely crucial and critical. And that is specifically for US, but I'm sure every country will have its own requirements. So it's very important to look at it and think of about ROI as well when you even look at budget. So what were your criteria when looking into budget and ROI? Like, what was your thought process there?
So, for the first time when I spoke with my parents, it was my father who told me that you have to go abroad and study, and then we discussed that this is our budget. So the first thing which comes in, which came into my mind was that the universities which I'm shortlisting, are there any universities who are giving 100% scholarships to the students? If yes, what is the criteria? So then I used to communicate with the universities and with my consultant that what is the eligibility criteria for getting 100% scholarships, or if not academic scholarship, there is a term called assistantships. So either in any international students in all the universities abroad, they can work part-time on campus. So how can they work? They can either work as a graduate assistant in any of the department or offices where you have to work with administrative duties. Either you can work as a teaching assistant where you assist your professor to prepare for his lectures and students. Thirdly, you can work as a research assistant where you can assist any of the faculty in their ongoing research. So if you get either of these three assistantships in any of your department, there is a high probability that you get a tuition waiver from 30% to 100% of your scholarships. So this was one thing. And second thing which I used to find was that the larger the campus of the university, more is the number of department and more is the scope of getting an on-campus job. Smaller is the university, or more the university is in the proper downtown of a city, lesser is the chance because there are more number of students. Also, whenever an international student is planning to come over here, make sure that you are going to a domestic college where there are more of local people, because local students over here, they don't try to work on campus. So it becomes a big opportunity to international students to work over here. So coming back to question one, so when I spoke with my parents, I will be very much honest. My father told me that we can spend up to 50 to 60 lakhs Indian rupees for your education. Now we have to make sure that this will include your tuition fee also and your living expense also. Many of the time we forget that we have to live here for 2 years, and you have to be prepared that you can't get a job for the first 6 months or 3 months. So you have to keep that runway in your hand. So accordingly, you have to plan that what is your budget and which university is best for you.
That is so, so amazing. I really am like so impressed with your details, and I'm so excited, and you'll see me
Yeah.
smiling throughout the episode
Yeah.
because I feel you have kind of made my life easy because there are so many people who ask me these
Yeah.
questions. Then this episode will be like, go listen to Preet, he'll break it down for you. But this is great, and I also like the fact one other very interesting and critical thing you mentioned about not being in the best university, but being in the
Exactly.
right city because
Yes.
networking is key. I'm sure many of us are kind of fixated that I want to be in the best university,
Yeah.
but that can also come with like a big price tag, which
Yeah.
might not be your budget. And it's all about networking. And I'm a huge, huge, huge advocate about the benefits
Yeah.
of networking and why it is so important. And you should network without any reason. Like you don't have to network just to kind of get something back, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about like first of all, who told you about this, or did you just know about it? And like, how has networking helped you in getting through this educational course, your job? Like, how has networking helped you?
Okay, so first of all, I would say that if I would have not networked with you 2 years back, I wouldn't be over here. So this was the first phase. And secondly, you have always been helpful that anywhere, if you want any references, then you can always refer me. So that was the thing which I got to know. So what I used to do, I used to text 100 people on LinkedIn to like which, because LinkedIn is the best tool to connect with. If
Yeah.
you don't get any people, you just have to search the name of the university and you click on the people icon, you get to know that who are the students who are studying over there. So I used to randomly text 50 to 80 people in a day. I had a draft ready for each and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so to be very much honest, out of 100, it's only 1 or 2% chance that you get a reply back. First of all, it's because of the time difference and it's because of the work schedule over here. So I used to hear back from people in that particular way. And secondly, I would say networking, uh, the best networking experience which I had was when and I recently spoke to you that I came to Los Angeles for an interview, and
Yeah.
that interview was for a position of a data analyst in a big hospital. When I was returning back in a flight, the person sitting next to me, I just peeked in his laptop and I got to know that he was from the same institute and he was working on something. So I randomly, with one any excuse, I had an opportunity to talk with him, and I got to know that he was the marketing director of that entire institute. And in that way, I told him that few hours ago, I just came here for an interview, and this is my background, and this is what these were the people whom I spoke with. I shared my experience. I always have my project portfolio in my laptop, so I just showed him that these are my interests. And I don't know, like, was it luck or something, or did he speak? But within 4 or 5 days, I got to hear from that institute, and I got an offer from there also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so yes,
Congratulations.
thank you so much. Yeah, so I think networking is the biggest key. You have to talk to people. Second thing, the most important thing, when I was researching about Hofstra, I had texted one of the person. His name was Dr. Vishnu, and he was working with Northwell. I didn't even remember. It was 6 months back. We had this one subject called Clinical Decision Support System, and there was this guest faculty who came. This person took the lecture, and then I thought that, okay, if this is a guest lecture who is working at Northwell Health, I should text him on LinkedIn. When I opened the chat icon, I got to know that this was the person whom I texted 2 years back. And then I told him that this was me. And luckily, when I was doing my internship at Northwell, he was in my top line. I was reporting to him.
That's so incredible. I
Yeah.
I am like just beyond happy to hear these
Yeah.
stories because I have very similar stories.
Yeah.
And I like the fact one reality check that you're bringing with every response and every answer you're sharing with us is you would message 80 to 100 people and only
Yes,
two or
yes.
three would kind of respond to you. But I feel that that's what matters, right? Like for me, you just need like one right person to connect with you. And
Yes,
same with you, right? You don't, if 80 people will respond to you, you'll probably be lost. You're
exactly.
happy that genuine people are responding back to you.
Yes.
So yes, don't get disheartened if you're in this struggle phase where you're like,
Yeah.
reaching out to people, things are not working out. Trust me, we've all been there. Everyone has been
Yeah.
there. So can you tell us a little more about the course? Like what does the coursework include? Because you just briefly mentioned about like clinical decision support system,
Hmm.
our dashboards. That has been like for people who don't know, that is also becoming a very crucial aspect of healthcare in general.
Yes.
So that like the minute you said that, I had my eyes open, like, wow, that's a great topic. Like we've been discussing and working around
Yes.
different spaces in Eyecare around that. So tell us a little more about your coursework. How was your 2 years journey?
Okay, so to the audience, health informatics is basically an application of data science. Like as we know that in the United States, 100% of the hospitals are working on electronic health records. It was after the Obamacare, which regulated that you have to every hospital has to use electronic medical records. Now understand that for example, Microsoft or Google, they have such a large IT infrastructure. Same thing, every hospital has a very big IT infrastructure. Now, to develop that IT infrastructure, there are IT engineers. But to develop any electronic medical records, you have to have someone who has the medical knowledge also and the technical knowledge also. Now, why do we need medical or clinical expertise? For example, if you are going in a clinic and you are sitting in front of the doctor, now the doctor has a screen in front of him, and the doctor will try to fill all the information and will try to prescribe the medicine. Now, in that entire system, if the doctor is facing any trouble or issues that I'm now, the only work of the doctor will be to reduce the number of clicks.
Yeah.
Now, in order to explain any IT person that I want to reduce this particular number of ticks, or I want that that this diclofenac prescription is not coming up to the mark, or I want a prompt which will give me a prescription for a 5-year-old, that what will be a prescription method for a 5-year-old patient for diclofenac. Now, the IT person will always scratch his head. So you always need a clinical person who will understand this particular domain knowledge and will convey this knowledge to an IT engineer that, see, look, this is my doctor. He is having trouble in the number of clicks in the system, and you have to make sure that this particular thing has to be structured in such a way that it will be user friendly to all my clinicians. Now, why do we have to do this? Because lesser the number of hours of the clinician on the system, more he will give time to the patient, and lesser will be the number of mistakes. So this is the whole background of health informatics. Now, the things which we learn in this particular program is, firstly, we understand what is the US health system, the economics of the US health system. Thirdly, we understand data analysis. Now, why do we study data analysis in this program? Because since we have such a large electronic health record IT infrastructure, there is so much of data which is being generated. Now, consider this as your bachelor's project, that you are given a final year project and you are working on a population health data set. What will be your first approach? You go to all the libraries and dictionaries, and you pull out the data and you enter it manually, or you use SPSS to do some results. Now, similarly, in this entire IT infrastructure, my work, as an informaticist, your work will be to pull out the data, present some research questions that, for example, how can we improve the COVID treatment with so much of data we have? And then we have to make dashboards. Now, what are dashboards? Dashboards are basically reports, electronically visual reports, which will help the senior management to make better results because of the numbers. So this is what we learn. We learn data analytics, we learn data science. Now, there will be a question that, coming from a clinical background, how will I be able to learn all these things? To be honest, it is a preconceived notion that you are coming from a clinical background, so you don't have a strong technical domain. So everything will be learned from scratch in this particular program. And by the end of 2 years, after learning 15 to 20 subjects, you will be expert in your domain knowledge.
And actually, I want to, that's a great way of ending it, because I have another follow-up question on that.
Yeah.
You mentioned about, like, being a healthcare expert, you might be considered that your IT or technical skills are not that strong. I want to go a step back and be like, being an optometrist, now you're talking about healthcare in general, right? So was that transition difficult, or was it helpful? Like an optometrist talking about healthcare and then IT. So how was that transition?
It was super helpful for me, because the healthcare system, or any degree or any medical or paramedical degree in India, is structured in such a way that, even if your course is for 4 years or 5 years or 3 years, in the first year you learn all the basic subjects like human anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, toxicology, forensic medicine. So to understand the term and the potential to learn that particular subject becomes much more easier, because I would say that mm, it is easy to understand the concept being from a clinical background instead of a non-clinical background. Because, to be honest, you will be working with a data dictionary which is all composed of clinical terms.
So you're basically using your transitional skills. So whatever you've
Yes,
learned in eye care, you're just expanding it to make it more
yes,
healthcare. Uh,
definitely.
So now tell us about you are working, or you have joined the organization as a quality analyst, right?
Yeah.
So that is one of the role that you probably feel people can do after completing these courses. So can you tell us what are the different career opportunities after completing this course?
So firstly, after completing the course, you either start as a data analyst in any of the sectors. You can either work in an insurance sector, you can work in pharmacy sector, you can work in biotech, you can work in genomics, you can work in bioinformatics as a data analyst, where your primary role will be that you will be given a research question and you have to pull the data and make reports for those things. Secondly, you can work as a clinical informaticist, where you have to develop and configure entire electronic medical records. To be honest, if you are going through a smartphone, how you can navigate the things is what is called a system design. The same thing you can do as a clinical informaticist, where you will be given a system and you have to design in such a way that it will become easy for the clinician to use that. So these are the two major domains. Thirdly, after 4 or 5 years of transitions, you can also use the AI technologies which are being upcoming right now. You can either work as a data scientist where you are predicting the future. Like for example, if you are working in the in hospital quality, for example, if you have 1,000 data sets of breast cancer, or you have one particular data point, your job can be that how can you predict what will be the outcomes if there are 10,000 data points of this particular thing, and you can develop your own methodologies. So these are the three major domains.
And do you think AI is going to take your job as well?
No, I don't think AI will take any of the like majority of the human jobs, because I think human brain is much more complex, and I think by the time AI is on the verge of taking any jobs, we will develop something that will get something more on that.
So, so I really like how you mentioned that, like, you can use AI to kind of support and be your personal assistant when you're
Yes.
trying to build these models. This is super interesting, and I'm loving every bit of it. Can you tell me what does the pay structure look like? Because we did touch about like your investment initially, but let's talk about ROI and like how does the pay structure look like? And of course, a full disclaimer, this I'm sure you're going to share that as well, but it differs from state to state,
Yeah.
from country to country, from organization. So everything is completely as of today what we
Yeah.
know, but please Google and find your own
Yes.
own values there. But tell us a little more on the ROI part of it.
Okay. So after completing the master's in health informatics, the starting salary, irrespective of any state, as an international student or the category where we come from, the starting salary is around, I would say in healthcare, it's around 70 to $80,000, irrespective of your background or years of experience. Coming out as a fresher, no less than $70,000, which
Okay.
is around 57 to 58 lakhs per year. And the highest it can go to, which I've heard a fresher earning in the big cities, is around 200 or 250K, which is around $2 lakh to 2 lakh $50,000.
That's incredible. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's pretty much the range even I'm aware about in general
Yeah.
in the healthcare space. Were there any challenges throughout your journey that you want to kind of highlight and talk about? Something that I feel you were like overly prepared throughout this journey, but was there something that you're like, oh shoot, I should have known or I should have done that you want to share with others?
Only thing which I would the only challenge which always came was that every time I approached any like multiple people, I used to never hear back. So that was the only challenge which I always came across. But otherwise, to be honest, in the last 2.5 2 years, I have never had any bad experience so far. Everything has been great, because the only reason was that I have been contacting the right person at the right time. And the best thing was I was asking that what are the mistakes I have to avoid. So it was saving my time.
So
Yeah.
you did bank on your networking,
Yeah, yeah,
making
yes.
sure like, okay, how can I avoid any mistakes and learn from others?
Yes.
But
Yes.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Preet, this has been a very, very refreshing and like amazing episode for me.
Yeah.
I thought people might have more questions and maybe we might have to do another session. I'm not sure.
Yes, definitely.
But let's dive into a game segment. We did talk a
Okay.
lot about your
Yeah.
journey, your education, but let me test you on your Gen Z lingo. So let's
Okay.
see how good you are at the Gen Z lingo. So we're going to go to a game segment called Boomer Lingo, which
Okay.
basically you have to kind of, I'm sure you'll get it all, but let's see how well you know these terms. So are you
Okay.
ready for it?
I'm trying to be ready for that.
Okay. We'll start easy.
Okay.
FOMO.
Fear of missing out.
Okay. IMO.
IMO. IMO. I think MO again stands for missing out.
No.
No. No, I'm not aware about it.
in my opinion.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. Flex.
I know that we use this term called flex, but I don't know the full form of flex is
No,
something.
it's not a full form. Like, how do
Yeah.
you use flex?
Yeah, like if I'm showing off something,
Yeah,
some of the trait.
yeah, show off. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that not everything might be a full form. It
Yeah.
could just be like, how do you use
Okay,
it or what
okay.
it means. Okay. Cap.
Cap. No, I'm not aware of cap.
Oh, it basically means you're lying or yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Bet.
I bet you. Is this
Uh,
no? It's
no,
not
no,
the bet that okay. No,
no, no, no. It can't be that easy.
bet. No, I'm not aware of bet also.
It basically means yes. I mean, like bet. I mean,
Oh,
kind of.
okay.
Yeah.
See, this
Okay.
shows that how sincere I am in my studies, that I'm not aware of any of these things.
See, I'm adding this segment so I
Yeah,
can tell all my nerds that please
yeah,
you need
see,
to kind of also catch
yeah,
up with this segment.
yeah.
Okay. Drip.
Drip. Oh, drip. I know drip. Yeah, I think that it's something cool, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, last one. Slay.
Slay. I think many. I see this on Instagram. Slaying, right?
Yes, what does it
Yeah,
mean? You are doing it, you're slaying it.
slaying it. Again, showing off
No, no, no.
or doing the right thing.
Almost there. It means you're
Trying to impress. Trying to impress.
no, it means you're killing it. Like you're
Oh,
crushing at
okay,
what you're doing.
okay,
You're slaying.
okay.
And that's what you're doing already.
Yeah,
This was the perfect
yeah.
thing to end with. Great. You definitely need a little more
Yes,
rework
I do
on
need. I do.
your
Yeah.
Gen. But that was a game segment. Thank you once again, Preet, for going over all your experiences and sharing that with me. I enjoyed it, and I'm sure we might have some follow-up questions. For everyone,
Yes.
please feel free to reach out to Preet. I'll be dropping his information, and you can connect with him on LinkedIn, and I'll be dropping his link in the description. So do reach out to him if you want to learn a little more about his work, his course, and about his journey. Before I let you go, Preet, do you have any final takeaway message for all my listeners?
Final message. The only thing which I want to say that try to reach out to maximum people. It's not like it's never a single person game. It's always that any person can take you out of any of the trouble. So it's the best advice I would like to tell is that talk to 100 people whenever you are doing anything, because that one person can give you the lead and you can get successful in that. And second, that keep the curiosity, because it's not that the thing you are studying right now will be their lifetime. It's the habit of learning new things. So like I know it's very common that we have to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So always be in the habit of learning something new every day. And we always, whenever we have a conversation, you are always like that, learn something new. Be with time. Whatever thing is trending, try to learn that, because time is very difficult right now. And if you are not on the top, I I know that like people are saying on internet that how this is happening. But yeah, be highly curious and talk to hundreds of people so you get new perspectives.
Absolutely. Love both the
Yeah.
advice, and we definitely need to work on our Gen Z lingo.
Yes,
That's one
yes.
thing that we learn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one takeaway for me.
But thank you once again, Preet. It's been a great episode and loved having this conversation with you. And congratulations on your new role.
Thank you
And
so much.
I wish you all the best for starting this new journey in United States.
Thank you so much. Well, to the audience, this was not the scene 2 years back. 2 years back, I was texting nerdy optometrist that what will happen, what do I do, what are the options which I have to keep open. But yeah, thanks to you for talking there for the first time, and now see the journey has been like we started from bottom and we came over here.
Yes,
Yeah,
certainly. It's a pleasure to have you and
likewise.
see you grow and wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving this opportunity. And to all the audience, if you are stuck anywhere, please do reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help. I'm telling all the students who are coming from India to any of the international country, please feel free to reach out to me and question me anytime, because I don't want you to do the mistakes which I did.
Well, that's wonderful. With that, thank you so much, Preet.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.